Greetings and salutations, gamers. You know this be Beyond the Gamer 64, coming at you with a new video game collection video or showcase. So I'm going to finish off the rest of my Xbox collection. So in the last collection video, I showcased my Xbox One slash 360, even though it's just like 2 or 3 games for 360. And not because I actually own a 360, but because those games are backwards compatible on the Xbox One. That's why I picked those up. And it was like super small. It was only like 3 games. But I digress. So we're perhaps coming to the biggest, one of the biggest parts of my collection, and that's the original Xbox. So yeah, I think we'll go ahead and start off with the sleeved games, or the loose games as they were. So we'll knock these out pretty quick, and then we'll get to the complete games and go from there. So, first game on the docket we have is Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Wait, is that right? Yeah. Knights of the Old Republic 2 The Sith Lords. I think that's right. Hold on. Can't really see the rest of the title there, because I don't know offhand. Let's see. Ah, yes, it's just The Sith Lords. Okay. Okay. Well, easy peasy. But I'm glad to finally have this one. Of course, I didn't get it complete, but I got it like super cheap, and the disc was in decent condition. I remember getting it from Retro City Games for, I think it was between $2 to $5. Well, it was one of them, but either way, it was a good deal. So that's that one. And then this one of the best movie games you can get, The Warriors on original Xbox. And then next we have Tony Hawk's Underground Platinum Hits Edition. So a good majority of these games came from Retro City Games in their $2 bin. So, you know, the old location that used to be by my buddy's house. That's where we got a good majority of these $2 bin games. So, okay, and then next we have is Disney Extreme Skate Adventure. Pretty decent Tony Hawk clone. Can't go wrong there. And next we have the the Tasmanian Toiga. So original Xbox game. Pretty fun little platformer. And then we have Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Platinum Xbox Hits Edition. $2. And then we got The Godfather the Game. Then we got Splinter Cell Pandora Tomorrow. Next we got Frogger Ancient Shadow. You'd think this, like, with the title like Ancient Shadow, would be like a little darker. But, you know, is what it is. And we get Azuric. What is it? Rise of Parathia. Yeah. Got this for $2. Even though I probably could have gotten it complete for like $5. But hey, $2 bin games are pretty good. Especially if you find them in good condition. But then again, the dudes who work at Retro City Games will buff them for free. So. And then we got the Fable The Lost Chapters. So this is an expansion to the original Fable. So there's a little more content on this. Next we have up is the Atari Anthology. So I've always loved these like little compilation games, especially when it comes to like arcade compilations. So Capcom had a lot of those, man, especially on PS2, original Xbox, and even up until now. You know, especially with like the fighting game compilations, like Street Fighter Anniversary Collection, Capcom Fighting Collection, Marvel's Capcom Collection. So you know, Capcom's still pretty strong about, you know, make maintaining those old but goldies on one disc. So, and next we have is Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Definitely awesome. Forgot if I played X-Men Legends first and then this series. Haven't played the third one on Switch, but I've been meaning to get that one. So, and next we have is Tom and Jerry War of the Whiskers. So this one's pretty cool. It's just like an arena, like fighter, I guess you could call it. Kind of like the Powerpuff Girls game. So you can pick up items, toss them at your opponent, beat the crap out of them. Yeah, just like a very mediocre kind of Power Stone clone, I guess you could say. But that one's actually decent. So yeah. And we got the Halo 2 multiplayer map pack. So pretty dope. Get some new maps for Halo 2. Only spent $2 on that one, so that's pretty cool. We got Pac-Man World 2, and they're actually gonna remake this for modern day consoles. So it's pretty cool. They actually did the first one as well, so definitely need to pick those up at some point. So next we have is Torque Prehistoric Punk. Yeah, I started playing this like long time ago, but from what I played of it, pretty fun. Pretty fun. Need to get back on that one. But then again, there's a crap load of games I need to get back on in my endless sea of backlog games. And we have Roller Coaster Tycoon, original Xbox. Of course, I got the box, the big PC game box, complete. So, pretty nice to have the Xbox One too. And also, they did just re-release this as well as the expansions on modern day consoles. So like Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox One. So yeah. And last of the sleeve games, we have Blitz the League. Yeah, this one's pretty cool, but I still love the OG ones. They're a little more arcadey, you know. But yeah, so those are all the loose Xbox games. Now moving on to complete. And we have Spike Out Battle Street, made by Sega. So I didn't know this was like a remake or a reboot of the original arcade game. But then again, I never even heard of Spike Out. Like, this game was like new to me, but as soon as I saw this cover and I saw Sega, I'm like, oh, it might be good. And I was not disappointed. This was a pretty cool little brawler. And it's 4-player support, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, Spike Out. And next we have is Project Gotham Racing 2. I think I remember playing a demo of the first one. I'm like, it's pretty cool for like a realistic like racing game. But got this one mainly for the custom soundtracks and the 4-player split screen. So can't go wrong with that. I think I remember only paying $2 at what's now the old Retro City Games location that used to be in Town Square. So they kind of had like a moving sale, as it were. So picked up a couple of games, and that was one of them. And we got Star Wars Battlefront 2, perhaps one of the best Star Wars games of all time, for sure. Yeah, boy. Okay. And next we got Smashing Drive. Yeah, this was a really cool like taxi cab game. I guess you could call it a racing game because you're racing against another cabbie, but Yeah, I like how like it was its own thing compared to Crazy Taxi, and I do love Crazy Taxi to death. But this one, yeah, this one was pretty special, man. Especially with all the badass power ups and everything. Still want to get my hands on the Game Boy Advance version of it because I kind of like the little pseudo 3D like Game Boy Advance games. All right, and next we have is LA Rush. Back when they were Midway, West Coast Customs. Well, pimp my ride, man. So yeah, I love the Rush series. I think it was like San Francisco Rush, Rush 2049. Great racing series. But this one had like a goofy story and so yeah. And then we got Circus Maximus Chariot Wars. Pretty sweet chariot racing game. Use weapons and whatnot. So yeah, I think I picked this up from Retro City Games at the old Town Square location. This was like one game I'd always see all the time. I would like go out, when I went to like a video game store or whatever. I was like, huh, it does look interesting. But there was always something else that caught my eye, so finally picked that one up. So pretty happy to have that one. Next we have is Trigger Man. He has a decent looking cover, almost comic book style. This dude almost kinda looks like Frank Castle, almost. So yeah, I think I only played like two levels of this, and eh, kind of a mediocre like third person shooter. I mean, it wasn't horrible, but I would just want to finish it up to see how the story moves along. Okay, and we still got more games to go. Okay, so we got a little double pack, the Dead or Alive Ultimate Edition, double disc collector's edition. So yeah, this is dope. Yeah, I was like, when this was announced back in the day, I was like so freaking like pumped for it. I'm like, oh dude, it's gonna include the original Dead or Alive on disc, and then of course Dead or Alive 2 Ultimate. But damn, this was definitely one to have, man. So cool. Oh, and song Dream On performed by Aerosmith. All right. I don't care what anybody says. I still like that Revolution X game. It's gotta be one of my favorite like guilty pleasure like light gun games. It was just so cheesy, just like uh, reeked of 90s cheese, which is good, which is good, you know, because that's my time. All right, and we got Legacy of Kain Defiance, and I really hope Aspire does a remake of this too, because they just did the remake of Soul Reaver 1 and 2. Not Blood Omen 2 though, or even the first one for that matter. But yeah, this was a good one. Nice conclusion to the story. Okay, and next we have is Shaolin Monks Mortal Kombat, one of the best spin-off Mortal Kombat games of all time. Yeah, definitely leagues above Special Forces and Sub-Zero Mythologies. Although I kind of like playing those too, but damn, this one just took it up 1,000 notches. I just wish they would like remake this and put it on modern consoles. Put it on Switch, man. I'd love if they put this on Switch. I know it's funny because like people are all disappointed that that new Legacy collection that's coming out that they didn't include any of like the 3D ones or what was it, sixth, seventh generation of Mortal Kombat games, the 3D era. I think it was like after four though, so it was like Deadly Alliance, Deception, Armageddon, all those. So maybe hopefully they do a Legacy Collection 2, and that would be fantastic if they did. All right, moving on, we got Mega Man Anniversary Collection. Contains 10 classic Mega Man titles. I forgot if it was this one or the Mega Man X Legacy Collection that had the Mega Man like kart racing game. Because they actually did make a Mega Man kart racing game. It's like at this point, like which franchise didn't have their own kart racer? you know. Next we have is Defender, made by Midway. Yep, definitely a cool reboot of a classic arcade game. And then we got Cold Fear. Yeah, you can tell they're kind of playing off the popularity of Resident Evil 4 with what was it? Sheen or Wish, Leon Kennedy here. But yeah, it was interesting of what I played of it, especially with like the mechanics where like you're on a boat and it rocks back and forth, so you have to like keep your footing and all that. Yeah, definitely an interesting one. Got to go back to play that one. And then we have Godzilla Save the Earth. Geiga, Geiga, Geiga. So it was pretty cool. I think it kind of played off of the popularity of what was it, King of the Monsters? Well, originally it was King of the Monsters on SNK, like on the Neo Geo MVS, and then they made the sequel. But that one was kind of cool because they made it kind of like a beat 'em up too. But they also had the verses, so yeah, very interesting. And then we got Unreal Championship. Anything to do with Unreal Tournament, like I'm there, dude. And this one was pretty good. I mean, not as like amazingly epic as Unreal Tournament '99, but this one was a good one. I had fun with this one. Ah, when Epic Games didn't focus on fucking Fortnite. Such a damn shame they just freaking cut that series loose. I'm like, that's ridiculous. And then we got NFL Blitz Pro, my favorite football game series of all time. Yeah, I only like if it's like arcadey style, so that or Tecmo Bowl, NFL Street. But I don't do Madden. I just don't do Madden, man. Not into the realism. I don't even like watch football for that matter, but I just love the arcadey action of NFL Blitz. So, all right, and we got platinum hits of Spider-Man 2. This is when they started to play around with the open world and web physics. Yep. And then we got Samurai Showdown 5. Yeah, SNK ported a lot of their games to the original Xbox. So Metal Slug, Samurai Showdown, and among others. King of Fighters, of course. Okay, damn. We're not even halfway done, dude. Good lord. Okay, and then we have 007 Nightfire. Okay, moving right along here. 21 minutes in. Alright, we got Mad Dash Racing. Really cool racing game, like on foot racer. Had a pretty dope soundtrack. But I'd probably say the best feature about this game is the unlockable character Gex. Okay. And then we have Motocross Mania 3. Yeah, I mean, like, it was kind of like a wannabe Road Rash. But you could also do stunts and stuff, so. Yeah, this one was decent. Plus, they had custom soundtracks. Like, oh man. Probably one of the best features of original Xbox. It's like certain games would have it. Not all, but certain. So, very nice. Alright, we got Win Back to Project Poseidon. Freaking love the first one on Nintendo 64. Little duck and cover shooter. Innovative route systems lets you experience each mission from different perspectives. Apparently this had multiplayer. Well, yeah. I think the first one had multiplayer too, so. I remember playing a little bit of this a long, long, long time ago, and I think it was like pretty challenging. So. Okay, and then of course we have Max Payne 2, Fall of Max Payne, in a shitty black case. But hey, at least the game was in good condition and had the manual, so can't complain. Can't complain. God damn, this is such a good game. I love the first one to death. Third one wasn't bad either, but damn, something about two was the best. All right, and next we got Doom 3 Limited Collector's Edition. Yeah, that's freaking sweet. Remember how excited I was when they announced this a long time ago. So yeah, also love that this collector's edition also included the OG Doom 1 and 2, 4-player split screen deathmatch co-op on one Xbox. So freaking cool. You know what's funny? I think later collector's editions of like re-releases of the Doom collection uh had the same like design for the steel box. So, or steel case as it were. Alright, and we got Capcom Classics Collection. Okay, yeah, this is the one I was thinking of when I was mentioning about like Capcom releasing like little compilations of their old games. And they're still going strong with that, man. Okay. And we got Blade 2. Definitely better than the first one that was on PlayStation, even though I'd say the best thing about the first one was the dude who voiced Blade. I think his name was like Red Pepper, who was also the voice of Shadow Man in the game Shadow Man. So that was probably the best thing about the first game, but this one kicks it up a notch. Like, oh man, it's so good. But you know what? I think the first Blade, because they also made the first Blade on Game Boy Color, and that one was pretty top notch, man. But yeah. Next we have Crash Nitro Karts. So the official sequel to Crash Team Racing. Okay, moving right along. We got Star Wars Episode 3, Revenge of the Sith. Definitely a good Star Wars game. Definitely a good Star Wars game. Pretty solid, like solid gameplay. Had a cool like multiplayer mode, and I love like the what if scenario, like if Anakin actually killed Obi-Wan. But yeah, this was a good one. And we got the first Dead to Rights. Yeah, you know they were kind of like playing on the success of Max Payne with the bullet time, so even though it had pretty decent hand-to-hand combat gameplay. Oh yeah, and you can't forget your dog Shadow. Little stripper bitty game. So funny. One good cop, one very bad situation. I think that was a theme, especially with Max Payne. Next we have is Castlevania Curse of Darkness. Yeah, this was a decent one, man. Love the innocent devil mechanic. He had like these cool like little demons. Although I hated in the fucking Netflix like animated show, Castlevania. They made Hector look like a bitch. Like, oh my god. I'm like, why? It's like really that fucking succubus bitch like really made him his little pet. Like, what is that shit, man? I was like, and then Isaac, not sure about the whole race swap thing, but he was actually a badass character. Even though, you know, their feud wasn't intact in the show, but, you know, is what it is. But I just don't like how they made Hector look like a bitch. But he got it on with some vampires, with a vampire, and got some vampire poontang, so there you go. Next we have is Breakdown. Yeah, this was a crazy one, man. Very trippy game. So it's kind of cool. It was like a first person, like, I don't know if you'd necessarily call it a fighting game. Because you also got to use weapons, so, you know, it's like a first person shooter, first person fighting game for fighter. Yeah, this one was trippy as hell, though. You know, it was an Xbox exclusive. I don't know if they even ported it to anything else, but yeah. Then we have Dance Dance Revolution Ultra Mix 2. Next we got is Tron 2.0 Killer App. Yeah, it's a pretty cool first-person shooter. I didn't think they were going to go that route, but yeah, definitely a decent shooter. And of course, you know, you had like little games in like in the movie, like the light cycle racing and whatnot. Okay. And then next we got the Need for Speed Underground. And then we have Turok Evolution. Probably one of the last best Turok games in the series. I didn't even touch the one on PS3 and 360 because I don't know, they kind of butchered it story wise and all that. It's like, oh, let's just forget, the ending to Evolution and whatnot. But yeah, this one had solid multiplayer, awesome storytelling. Yeah, this is a good one. And then we got Burnout 3 Takedown, probably one of my favorite racers of all time. And that party crash mode is such a blast. And apparently has custom soundtracks. Not in party crash mode because there's no music that plays. But yeah. Next we have is Kakuto Chojin, Back Alley Brutal. Yeah, that was a weird title. Back Alley Brutal. Yeah, it's like, can they make her top any more scantily clad? Oh man. Yeah, I forgot this one was like a 4-player brawler too. And next we got is Roadkill, made by Midway of all companies. But yeah, this one was sick, man. This was like, as it says here, it's like a mix of Twisted Metal and Grand Theft Auto, and also had sweet 4-player multiplayer action. All right, next we have is Thrillville, fun little theme park simulator. Has a lot of cool mini games and whatnot. And of course, House of the Dead 3, where you could actually unlock House of the Dead 2, which was pretty awesome. And then they eventually ported this to the Wii, except it was just two separate games, and you didn't have to unlock either of them. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And then we have the Doom 3 expansion, Resurrection of Evil. And this also included Ultimate Doom and Doom 2 and master levels for Doom 2. Okay. Holy crap. 34 minutes, huh? And next we have is Constantine. Awesome movie. Never actually read the comics before I seen the movie, but really enjoyed it. Anything to do with angels, demons, hell, the occult. I'm all for it. This game wasn't half bad either. Really wasn't. Then we got Mortal Kombat Armageddon with a beautiful shiny hollow foil cover. Love it. So yeah, I love how this game had every single character up until that point in this game. And then you could create your own fighters. And Conquest mode was dope because it was just like Shaolin monks. And the creative fatality was like different. I didn't hate it, but it was just like, huh, totally different. I don't know if it would have taken too much time for them to just like include like a couple fatalities for each of the characters. But I guess it was a good trade-off, you know. Okay. And then we got the 2-pack here. We got the Sega GT 2002 and Jet Set Radio Future. And I think this is what came with my Xbox originally. And it included both manuals, which was like so cool. It's like, what? You get both games on one disc, and then you get both manuals. Like, what? Yeah, that's cool. Even though I do want to like find like the standalone like physical of a Jet Set Radio Future though. But we'll see what Sega's gonna do with the new Jet Set Radio for modern consoles. So hopefully they don't muck it up. But we'll see. And then we got the Grand Theft Auto Xbox collection. Seen better days for sure, but yeah. GTA 3 and Vice City. That's all you need, man. You don't need that definitive edition. But yeah, so shiny. And plus, this also had custom soundtrack too, so I think that's what made this version even better than the PS2 one. So, yeah. Then we got the sequel, Unreal Championship 2, the Leandre Conflict, which added like new like combat mechanics. Oh, and Raiden was a guest character in this. So Raiden from Mortal Kombat was a guest character. I'm like, that is freaking neat. And this was before they had, DLC and all that bullshit. So it was so cool just to have him. And we have Hunter the Reckoning Redeemer. So this is a sequel. I think I have the first one on GameCube, ironically, but yeah, definitely cool series. Okay, and NFL Street, like I mentioned earlier, pretty sweet arcade style football action. Oh yeah, and this has custom soundtrack as well. Makes the game even better. Deus Ex Invisible War. And a crappy black cover. So yeah, I think this is a sequel to the first one, if I'm not mistaken. And I heard they're doing a remake or a remaster of the first one for modern day consoles. So that's pretty dope. Okay, another awesome movie game of all time. The Matrix Path of Neo. The shiny hollow foil cover. Freaking love it. Okay. Next we have is Outrun 2, sequel to Outrun. Arcade mode, mission mode, live mode, heart attack mode. Apparently this has 4 players. Interesting. Hmm. You also gotta love the music, especially in the original games. Like, what was the one? Magical Shower, and oh man, those are just some good tracks. Put you in a good mood for sure. We got Crimson Sea. So yeah, it was like a hack and slasher slash shooter. Pretty fun. You go back to it. And we got the OG Manhunt. That's cool. I was actually playing this on Xbox One because it's backwards compatible. So pretty happy about that. Ooh, okay. And we got Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. Yeah, this was a fun one. I'm not very huge on Lord of the Rings, but yeah, this was a good little hack and slash here. And we got first Dance Dance Revolution Ultra Mix. And probably the best Hulk video game of all time, Ultimate Destruction. Yeah, this one was so much fun. And then we have Reckless, the Yakuza missions. And my favorite squad-based shooter of all time, Brute Force, Dangerous Alone, Deadly Together. Freaking Brutus. So freaking cool, man. Okay, and we got Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2X. It was like a remake of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2 with awesome features, additional levels, 4-player split screen. And I'm pretty sure this had custom soundtrack as well. So yeah, this one pretty solid, pretty solid. Well, I'd say this remake was better than the what was it, the Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 and 2 remake. Well, at least for 2. Well, no, there's some things about 1, like the changes in 1 that I didn't like Jack Black as Officer Dick. I'm like, dude's everywhere. Like, it's like I like him in a couple of movies, but damn, so I don't know why they had to really change him. And then there was no Officer Carrera. And but this one still had Spider-Man, man. So I was pretty happy this one still had Spider-Man. So, yep, definitely the better remake as far as 2 goes. And next we have is Ninja Gaiden. First one. Yep, the very first 3D Ninja Gaiden, baby. So glad I got the sequel on 360 for Xbox One because it's backwards compatible. Because yeah, earlier they explained the whole like stupid censorship of the Sigma like ports. Like, oh my god, I don't know why. But for Sigma 2 on PS3, awful, awful. As far as censorship goes, I'm like, why are people like shooting like red flames or blue flames out of their neck instead of losing their head and their limbs and all that? It's like crazy to me. But anyways, whatever. And then we got Far Cry. Far Cry. Far Cry Instincts. Yeah. We got Jade Empire from BioWare. Same people who made the Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic games. So yeah, definitely need to start playing that one more. I remember one of my friends in high school brought it to my house one day after school We played it for a little bit. Don't really remember too much of it, so I'm glad I finally have it on Xbox. So yeah, and then we got another Xbox exclusive, Blackstone Magic and Steel. Got an anime aesthetic here. Kind of like a dungeon crawler, almost like, I don't know, like Gauntlet Legends, I want to say. Oh, I can't remember that shitty sticker. And then we got the first Splinter Cell complete. Forgot which one. Well, I had one of the sequels loose, as you saw, like way earlier. And then we got Toxic Grind. A deadlier, like Dave Mirra clone, I guess you could say. Didn't really get too much into it. They only played like the first stage, but yeah, definitely need to check it out a little more. Next we have is Total Overdose, a gunslinger's tale in Mexico. So you got huge like Desperado vibes in this game. It's open world just like GTA, so it's pretty cool. Elements of Max Payne, Tony Hawk, and Robert Rodriguez's film smashed together from GameSpot. Okay, damn. So I got like two big piles to go. Okay, maybe I should speed it up. Not really share my 2 cents just to get the video done with. We got Sudeki, the action RPG. I think I was pretty much getting into this one, but again, game hopping all the time and whatnot. It's like, will he ever finish any of these games? Who knows? Got Rayman 3, Hoodlum Havoc. Okay, Arctic Thunder. Awesome arcade racer with snowmobiles. Has a lot of cool weapons. And we got Burnout 2, Developer's Cut. 21 exclusive custom car skins. And then, of course, first Max Payne. Remember getting this for Christmas from the folks. So that Christmas was when I actually got my original Xbox. And then, came with Jet Set Radio Future and Sega GT 2002. Of course, Halo 2. Gotta have your Halo. Okay, moving on. Okay. Got Amped. This one's cool. This one actually has custom soundtrack support. Definitely one of my favorite snowboarding games of all time for sure. We got Worms 4 Mayhem. I love the 3D Worms games. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love like the original 2Ds, but the 3D ones were hella fun. Okay, moving on. We got Advent Rising. Metal Arms. Glitch in the System. This one was a freaking cool game. Really liked it. Very solid third-person shooter. It's pretty cool because you like possess like other robots. Well, like the bigger robots, and then just wreak havoc. And yeah, this was a fun one. Almost kind of felt like Ratchet and Clank almost. Yeah. And we got Red Dead Revolver. And hot take, I'll play. This is my favorite one out of Redemption 1 and 2. Even though I haven't played 2 yet, but I don't know, the whole open world thing in the West, I'm just like, eh. I mean, first Redemption was fun, but I don't know, something about Red Dead Revolver I love so much. And of course, Final Fight Streetwise. I actually like this game. I don't care what people say about it. Like, I had a blast with it. Like, the storyline was like batshit crazy. That drug that just like turns people into like crazy monsters and shit. And it's kind of cool how you can do like underground fights for money and stuff. Like, that was pretty cool. We got Lord of the Rings, Fellowship of the Ring. It was an okay adventure game. It was could have been better. More S&K goodness. Metal Slug 3. And we got the spiritual successor to Power Stone. Fucking Kung Fu Chaos. Face full of fists. Like, this game was just amazing, dude. I remember playing the demo at, like, what was it, a Sam's Club or something? And they, they had, like, a little setup with the Xbox and TV. And, dude, I couldn't get off that game. I was like, dude, I need this game. I'm so glad I have it now. It's, like, so good. Alright. We better move these. Okay. Then we got Land of the Dead, Road to Fiddler's Green. It was alright. Wasn't great necessarily, but we got Mortal Kombat Deception Collector's Edition. Oh crap. So it's kind of weird. Like, so the PS2 versions, they had like character specific ones. So they had like Sub Zero and I think Molina for PS2, and I forget which ones they had for Xbox here, but yeah, it was weird. It was like only character exclusive to whatever console. So I mean, I would love to collect them all at some point, but I'm sure sure they'd be pretty pricey at this point. All right, more SNK goodness. Metal Slug 4 and 5. Oh, damn, it's almost going on an hour here. Told you this is probably my biggest like collection, biggest part of my video game collection. And then we got Peter Jackson's King Kong. Pretty solid movie game, I gotta say. I had a lot of fun with this one, especially playing as Kong. And then we got Fable. Freedom Fighters. This was a decent squad-based shooter, but my money's still on Brute Force. Then we got the True Crime New York City. Don't think I finished this one, but I definitely finished Streets of LA. Unlock Snoop Dogg. Another sweet arcade compilation. We got Midway Arcade Treasures 2. Hell yeah. Then we got SSX on Tour. Love how this one you can switch between like skiing and snowboarding. Like, interesting. And then we got the first Mafia. And we got Turtles 2 Battle Nexus. That was cool, and you can also unlock the TMNT arcade game. And I think the third one was Turtles in Time. So that was pretty dope. Dead or Alive 3. And we got TMNT. Yeah, TMNT. So I didn't understand about the first game. It's like, how are you only going to have 2-player support when we all know it should be 4 players? But no, they kind of did that. I think they did that with Turtles in Time on Super Nintendo. But that didn't make sense because there was the multiplayer. They had the multiplayer tap, or multi-tap, excuse me. So I don't know why they didn't have 4 players on the Super Nintendo version of Turtles in Time, but is what it is. And we got Serious Sam. Pretty decent FPS. Horde Shooter. Okay, okay. Here we go. Worms 3D. It was the very first 3D Worms game. Okay. We got a Shadow the Hedgehog. I definitely love what they did with him in the Sonic Cross Shadow Generations remake, or was it remaster, including like new content for Shadow. Because honestly, I thought it was just going to be like a remaster of Shadow the Hedgehog, but didn't turn out to be the case. But either way, it was awesome. So, and then we got 13. Definitely a great game. Very intriguing story. Cool multiplayer. Love the cel shaded graphics. Heard in the remake they kind of messed that up with the graphics. I'm like, no. Although I'm sure it's dirt cheap now since the game bombed. So, yeah, I might pick it up at some point. And then we got X-Men Legends 2 Rise of Apocalypse. I think this is the one that had Iron Man as an unlockable character. Okay. Oh my gosh. Now it's definitely going on to an hour here, but yeah. Anyways, we got Amped 2. Oh yeah, this also has custom soundtrack as well. Hell yeah. Love Amped. Great snowboarding series. And then we got the Xbox version of Celebrity Deathmatch. It's kind of funny because I think this was on PS1, but then then they ported its original Xbox and I think PS2. So yeah, pretty nice. And we got Spy Hunter 2. Pretty fun driving gun game. Although I'm never gonna pick up that fucking one with the rock. What was it, Nowhere to Run or something? I'm like, I never cared for his ass, like, cause especially originally when he was a wrestler. I'm like, okay, I didn't care for him then. I didn't care that he started doing action movies and being in Hollywood and everything. So I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely not gonna play a fucking game with him in it. I'm good. And then we got Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic, Platinum Hits Edition. And we got Simpsons Road Rash. Road Rage, not Road Rash. So it's the one that's like Crazy Taxi, but with Simpsons. So. And we got Judge Dredd. Dredd versus Death. Definitely a decent shooter from what I remember. And we got RTS, the Alien versus Predator Extinction. But you know what I think what's funny is like I always thought the StarCraft series was basically Alien versus Predator. Like because you had the Marines as the Terrans, and then you had the Protoss as the Predators, and then of course the Zerg as the Xenomorphs. It's like you can't tell me that Blizzard didn't get inspiration from Alien vs Predator. But yeah. Okay. And then we got Quantum Redshift. Crazy Futuristic Racer. Gotta love my futuristic racers. Especially Extreme G, man. Especially like the first two on 64. God damn, those are prime. And then Wipeout. Then we got Unreal 2 The Awakening. Yeah, first one was way better for sure. Plus the ending was really screwed up in that one. Like, holy shit. And we got Tenchu, Return from Darkness. I didn't have a PS2 at the time when Wrath of Heaven came out, but when I heard they were releasing it on original Xbox, especially with exclusive content and all that good stuff, I was freaking excited, dude. But yeah, so happy to have that. Another copy of 13. Well, better looking copy too. Where the hell did I even get the other one? Okay. And speaking of stealthy ninja games, you know, we got Red Ninja, End of Honor. Yeah, that's another one I gotta finish. I think I was like maybe 4 or 5 missions in. Then we got NFL Blitz 2003. San Andreas, of course, with custom soundtrack. Hell yeah. So glad to have all those GT games on original Xbox. Even though I have Vice City and 3 on PC as well. And then we got Worms Forts, Under Siege. And Area 51. Yeah, this was a dope reboot of Area 51. Because if you remember, it was like a cheesy little like arcade light gun game. It was kind of cool because David Duchovny was like the main character, you know, from X-Files fame. And then we had Marilyn Manson, the voice of like this giant alien fetus in the game. But yeah, this was a trippy game. Really liked it. And then we got Whacked. Definitely an off kilter kind of game show game. Okay, almost done. Got Dark Watch, made by Capcom. First person shooter about a vampire in the Old West. Yeah, that's sick. Sick. And we got Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. And this was like one of the reasons I wanted an original Xbox, even though like it wasn't exclusive to original Xbox, but there was a lot more games I wanted on original Xbox than PS2. So this was one of them. I think it came out around what was it? Was it after Christmas or during Christmas season? I don't know, but the year I got my original Xbox, they kept playing the commercial, and I was getting so hyped for this one. I was like, damn, so good. And then we got Cyanide. Ooh, creepy. Go from a cute little girl to an ugly demon alien thingy. Oh yeah, that's that custom soundtrack as well. Cyanide. Crazy one. And we got Star Wars Obi-Wan. Why, hello there. Okay, getting through it. Getting through it. And we got Ultramix 3. I think, well, you got 1, 2, and 3. I might have the fourth one too, but yeah. Urban Chaos, Right Response. I think I have the first one on Dreamcast. I actually liked it because it was like an open world, like, cop game trying to stop like a world-ending cult. But yeah, this one you're just straight up like riot police officer. Yeah, definitely an interesting one. Definitely interesting. I think I like the first Urban Chaos better though, even though I didn't finish it yet. Then we got Burnout Revenge. Okay, moving along. Sonic Heroes. Sonic's Xbox debut. Oh my god. Okay. And we got Army Men Sarge's War. Pretty epic cover there. It's crazy how like the Army Men series has been going so strong since like the 90s. Up until this point, of course. And then we got the first Halo Combat Evolved. A nice shiny cover. Love it. Okay. Here we got State of Emergency. I like to say this one's an underrated like title from Rockstar for sure. And then we got the other Godzilla game. Well, I think this was the first one. Destroy All Monsters. And we got SSX3. Getting, but it's not tricky, tricky, tricky. Okay. And we got X-Men Next Dimension. See, was this right after Mutant Academy 2? I think it was. But yep, decent X-Men fighter. Highly underrated Silent Hill game. 4, The Room. This one was trippy as hell. And we got Street Fighter Anniversary Collection. I think this was like the first like official like Street Fighter collection they came out with. Well, actually no, I think there was one on PS1, but I think it was just like two versions of like Street Fighter 2. I think it was like Super Street Fighter 2 and then 2 Turbo or something like that. Don't own it, so I don't really know. And we got Goblin Commander, Unleash the Horde. This one was kind of cool. Definitely had some like OG Warcraft vibes. Not World of Warcraft. Talking about like the RTS ones. And we got Simpsons Hit and Run. It's like Grand Theft Auto Simpsons Edition. Yeah, this was probably one of the best Simpsons games of all time for sure. Well, top of the arcade one. Okay, almost done. Kind of. One last pile. Ow, ow. Okay. Alright, so we'll speed it up a bit. So yeah, got Tomb Raider Legend. The nice shiny cover. We got Blood Rain, first one. I think they may have remastered this. Okay. Wolfenstein, Return to Castle Wolfenstein, Tides of War. Okay. Jaws Unleashed. Metal Gear Solid 2 Substance. And we have Grabbed by the Ghoulies. And then we have Oddworld Stranger's Wrath. Pretty interesting. Oddworld series has a first person shooter. Okay. Got Thief, Deadly Shadows. It's kind of cool how they like ported some PC games to original Xbox. And we got Sega Soccer Slam. It's kind of disappointed they didn't have any Sonic characters in this as unlockable characters, or any Sega characters for that matter. But it was pretty fun soccer game nonetheless. A little arcade style action. And we got GoldenEye Rogue Agent. Silent Hill 2 Restless Dreams. Xbox Extras, additional playable character Maria, more secrets revealed, areas, weapons, enhanced graphics, and lighting effects. And we got Malice. Yeah, this was a trippy game. I remember this used to be like a tech demo for original Xbox to like show off its power. Okay, this is perhaps like one of my favorite horror games of all time. The Suffering, especially the first one. I fucking love this game, dude. Midway did a fantastic job with this one. And then, of course, its sequel, we get Ties That Bind. Alright. And this was my very first ever Toe Jam and Earl game, so we got the third one, Mission to Earth, with some new chick. Okay, we have the Conquer Live and Reloaded. You know what I love about the Rare Replay collection on Xbox One is like how it's the 64 version and not this one. Not to say I didn't like this one. I mean, not sure why they had to like change the multiplayer, like do a whole overhaul about it. But you know what? I actually did have fun with the new multiplayer. And I like how it had 2 player split screen. Although would have been better if it was 4 player split screen like the original Conquer. You know, with like the heist mode and war and all that good stuff. And next we have Chronicles of Riddick, Escape from Butcher Bay. Lay by the bay, eat some hay. What do you say? We're playing a demo of this before I actually got this. I was definitely impressed with it. Like, damn. So it's such a good game. I think they made a sequel as well. And next we have his Bloodwake. It's like Twisted Metal, but on the seas. It's like if Hydro Thunder was Twisted Metal. Like, that one was good. And we got Finding Nemo. Next we got Capcom Fighting Evolution, which is now featured on the Capcom Fighting Collection 2. I think the best part about this game was like the inclusion of the Red Earth characters, because they never actually did a home port of Red Earth until they did the Capcom Fighting Collection, like the first one. And then got TMNT 3, The Mutant Nightmare. Yep, it's the one that has Turtles in Time. Yeah, boy. Well, at least they learned from the first game that you need 4 players. So it was Battle Nexus and Mutant Nightmare that had 4 players support. So okay, next we get Star Wars Starfighter Special Edition. Includes new bonus levels, numerous 2 player modes, as well as Xbox optimized graphics and performance. Yeah, boy. Highly underrated Marvel game, Marvel Nemesis Rise of the Imperfects. Pretty awesome arena fighter. Pretty crazy story. Then we have SVC Chaos, SNK vs. Capcom. And I am aware they released it on modern consoles or next gen consoles. Do want to pick it up on Switch so I can have it portable. And then we got the Punisher. Probably the best Punisher game of all time. Hands down. Well, this and the arcade version too. The arcade game. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. King of Fighters, Maniacs. Or was it King of Fighters Maximum Impact, Maniacs? Okay, next Ultra Bust a Move. Definitely an awesome party game. We got Fusion Frenzy, which also has custom soundtrack support, even though it doesn't list it. Like, it's funny. So, like, I don't know, was it like the first wave of Xbox games? When it was this format instead of the other one, where it's more descriptive on the features. Like, so with the old one, they didn't really include if it was a custom soundtrack. You'd rarely see it, so. But anyways, yeah, Fusion Frenzy is amazing. Kind of wish the sequel was backwards compatible on Xbox One though, because it was only on 360. But for some reason, it's not compatible on Xbox One. So yeah, maybe someday. And we got Star Wars Republic Commando. Yeah, this was another solid like squad-based shooter. Very cool. Okay, almost done. Almost done. We got Shenmue 2. Includes a feature-length DVD, Shenmue the Movie, which is basically just all the cutscenes of the first game, but still cool nonetheless. And we have Steak and Eggs. No, Steak Fortune Fighters. Pretty cool, kind of like generic, guess wannabe Power Stone. Pretty frantic. And it has custom soundtrack, so that's even better. Makes it a little more bearable. And then we got Crazy Taxi 3 High Roller. Love the little Vegas style poker chips, cards, and table aesthetic here. Hopefully the new one that they put on next gen consoles doesn't suck. And we got Soul Calibur 2 with exclusive Spawn character. Well, that's cool. I think the only reason he was included in this game was because of his game, I think Spawn Armageddon, that was released on original Xbox, PS2, and GameCube, I believe. Alright, and then we got Dragon Ball Z Sagas. I actually like this beat 'em up. Like, I had a good time with this one for sure. Next we have is Guilty Gear X2. Then we have is Shrek 2. I know, it's dragging on, guys. Told you it was my biggest collection, so please hang in there. Bloody Roar Extreme. Okay. And we got Raises Hell. So such a comedic game. It's like you're killing like these like cute like Teletubby looking characters who are actually evil, surprisingly. So don't be fooled that you're playing a demon just killing them all. And we got Super Monkey Ball Deluxe, which includes the first two games that were on GameCube, I believe. Oh, okay. Okay. Then we got Crash Tag Team Racing. Yeah, the vehicle clashing thing was pretty cool. Yeah, it had mini games, cool little hub worlds you could walk through. Yeah, that was a fun one. We got Lego Star Wars. Very first Lego Star Wars game. And we got another double disc, or no, double-sided game. So it was Tetris Worlds and Clone Wars. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I think, yeah. Tetris Worlds actually has custom soundtrack as well. So that was pretty dope. Then Star Wars Clone Wars, that was a decent Star Wars game. Not gonna lie. Okay, then we got more SNK goodness. We got King of Fighters 03 as well as 02. Okay, and we got another King of Fighters, Neo Wave. Yeah, okay. Almost there, folks. Almost there. God dang. Okay, we got Blinks 2, Masters of Time and Space. I think that was cool. You can actually like have your own custom Blinks character. And 4-player multiplayer. Yeah, that was pretty dope. Whoa. Okay. Got Driver 3. Also has custom soundtracks. Nice. And we got Serious Sam 2. And Midnight Club 2. Wait, that's not it. That's not it. Hold on. 3 more games. 3 more. Okay. Midnight Club 2. And of course we got Blood Omen 2. Okay. Time Splitters 2. And finally, Time Splitters, Future Perfect. Jeez Louises. Okay. Oh my god. Only an hour and a half. Jeez Louise. Told you guys it was probably one of my biggest parts of my collection. But damn. Okay. Well, that concludes my big ass collection of original Xbox games. So I thank you all for watching who actually stuck around to watch the whole video. But even if you didn't, thanks for stopping by anyway. So until next time, love, peace, chicken grease.